This is Sheshachalam from Astro Guide Mysore. Today, continuing our discussion on planets. Today, I'll be taking Mercury as it is the fourth planet in our series. So, Mercury is denoted by this particular symbol, as I have written it there. It has all the three faculties: the mind, the soul, and the symbol of Earth. So that means it is extra special when compared to the other planets, because no planet has all these three put together. Mercury is the only planet with all. So that is why Mercury is also known as the planet which is ruling the Kali Yuga, because of its buddhi. So the karakatwas, the significations of Mercury are: Mercury is Matula Karaka, that is maternal uncle, and Buddhi Karaka. This is the most important faculty of Mercury, that it controls or it denotes, signifies Buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. It's a very young, fast moving planet. So if this planet gets posited in the Lagna of the native, the person will have youngness in him physically and also in his way of transactions, in the way he lives his life. He will be filled with a lot of energy, and he will be always having that active spirit, that he doesn't want to sit in one place. So that particular activity is denoted by Mercury. These young children having the mischievous, being mischievous and trying to do things for curiosity is coming under, it does come under Mercury. So Mercury is youth. If sun is birth, moon is infancy, Mars is adolescence, then Mercury is the next stage, that is the youth. The one who starts pondering as to what's happening around me. Adolescence is like children playing at their teenagers. They don't know actually what the earth is, what this creation is. They don't have that much of curiosity to go into things and start exploring. In Mercury, the hormones will have fully liberated, and they'll be dancing inside. So that's what we call, after the adolescence you get the youth. So they want to explore. They want to explore themselves, physically, emotionally, psychologically, in all respects, spiritually and intellectually, while he wrote those two. So they want to explore themselves, also explore with others. They want to explore the whole world, the whole creation. They want to know things. So Mercury is to know, the seeking ability to go ahead and try to understand why, what, where, when, all the questions. So in the particular time of Mercury, people will have lots of questions, and this particular stage is between, let's say, somewhere between 16 or 17 years to somewhere nearly around 25 years. So this stage of the youth, they do not have fear. So Mercury represents the mental capacity of handling fear. If they know things, they will be like having a superiority complex. If they do not know things, that is, if Mercury is ill-posited, they will get the inferiority complex. So same planet giving you superiority complex, also giving you inferiority complex. You should understand that Mercury is knowledge, in the sense of the immediate knowledge, not in the sense of the wisdom, the knowledge of the scriptures as of sun, or the knowledge of wisdom as of Jupiter, or the knowledge of experience as that of Saturn, or the work knowledge, that is Mars and Shukra. This is immediate knowledge, what we call as the knowledge of the encyclopedia, common sense, IQ. All these things come under Mercury. These people are very fast in their approach. They are very positive, and they are fast games, and fast games like competitions like fast biking, car racing, all these things like the F1 and the motor cars. All these things come under Mercury because these people have extremely strong nervous ability. The motor nerves are very good. The capability of the spatial capability, all these faculties required for an F1 driver is there in Mercury. If it is negatively posited, these faculties will diminish and they become slow. It doesn't mean that they become dull. They become slow. With same strength of intelligence, they become slow, and that's why they can then go become very good surgeons, neurosurgeons. People who need the calmness. Neurosurgeon cannot be as fast as an F1 driver. He has to be very, acute in judgment, and the clarity should be very good for a neurosurgeon. He cannot keep cutting wrong things and leaving out the malignant tumor there itself. So he has to be very good at his work. So this dexterity is nothing but Mercury, and Mercury owns two major rashis of the horoscope. That is, two major rashis of the horoscope. Just a minute, I will. Okay, let me continue. I had some disturbance here. Okay, Mercury holds two major rashis of the Kalapurusha, from the Kalapurusha. That is Mithuna Rashi, that is Gemini, and Virgo, that is Kanya Rashi. So both these rashis are the third and the sixth houses. So we can see that it owns two major Upachaya sthanas. And we will be discussing about the Upachaya sthanas, the Kendras, the Panaparas, the Apoklimas later on. Very nearby in the next coming classes I will be teaching this. Here, the Upachaya sthana means the house of growth. Third house is house of activity, and the sixth house is house of service. Both houses are owned by Mercury, and since it is the lord of this particular signs, this particular faculty will also come to the native in a strong way, that is going into research, going into hyperactivity. People can handle two or more things at the same time. So this is a positive trend of Mercury. But if the negative thing is happening, let's say if Saturn gets posited along with Mercury in a malefic way. Saturn and Mercury are friends. We will talk about the Naisargika Mitratva, Tatkalika Mitratva later on. That is the friendships and the enmities. But still, to your knowledge, Saturn is a friend of Mercury. And when Saturn gets hit with malefically and it's posited with Mercury, we come to a bad yogas of dullness, lethargy, carelessness. There is one yoga which actually is a negative yoga, which is called as the Buddhi Manda Roga Yoga. We simply tell, no, this person might be having the Buddhi Manda Roga. What is that Buddhi Manda Roga? Buddhi means Mercury, Manda means Saturn, Roga means the sixth lord or the sixth house. If Buddhi and Manda, that is Mercury and Saturn, are associated with the sixth house or the sixth lord, or they themselves, any one of them is the sixth house, sixth lord, then Buddhi Manda Roga gets activated. What is Buddhi Manda Roga? Either the native, that is the child, will be retarded, slow in processing or understanding, or slow in catching up with things, or has difficulty like autism or difficulty like ADHD. So these are complicated problems. We cannot simply tell that a person has some problem like Alzheimer's or schizophrenic. Just like that, we need to go deep into it. Because of Alzheimer's and schizophrenic, I did not mention with this yoga because moon is also involved there. So if Saturn, Budha and Ketu are malefically involved, then there is a chance of epilepsy, all the attacks of the nervous system in the brain. So there are many things which we should understand, how actually these planets behave when they mix with other planets. Individually speaking, Buddha is, very conscious planet, and if posited in the 12th house, it is very bad for that horoscope. Why? It gives insomnia. The person cannot sleep well because he is very active, and particularly for other planets, the day and the night times make a difference. Like Sun is active at day, Saturn is active at the night. Buddha is not like that. It is active 24 bar 7. He does not have a kala, that is, he doesn't have day and night, whether he becomes strong in the day or weak in the night, nothing like that. Like moon becomes very strong in the night and Jupiter becomes very strong at the early morning hours. So this is not there with Buddha. Buddha means it's throughout 24 bar 7, it is always having the same strength. This you will understand when we are evaluating the strength of the planets. Okay, so when Buddha gets negatively posited in the chart and the Lagnadipati is strong, these are the cases where the person might get the faculty of, the strength of cheating others. Cunning, cheating, embezzlement, the minor qualities of becoming, very talkative, unnecessarily distractive, talking with loose morals, manipulative, becoming a jack of all, master of none. All these things will happen if Mercury is not well posited in the chart. But if the same Mercury is very well posited in the chart, giving rise to Bhadra Yoga, or giving rise to Trikala Jnana Yoga, or giving rise to many other yogas, like, there are many commentaries wherein I have read that not only Jupiter and Moon can give rise to Gajikesari Yoga, even Jupiter along with Mercury gives rise to an equivalent yoga which is as good as the Gajikesari Yoga. That is a person who becomes a benevolent person, who becomes highly responsible about his own surrounding, community, society. He becomes helpful and he would want to do things for people. So, if Mercury becomes strong, there is a strong Mars there in the horoscope, these people can become very good advocates. Why I am continuously talking Mercury with other planets is, why I am not doing this with all the other planets. I did not do it with Sun, I did not do it with Moon or Mars, because they are individually very strong. Mercury is a planet which actually imbibes the qualities of the other planet which it conjoins with. And usually Buddha-Aditya Yoga keeps happening because Mercury is always very close to Sun. It is within 28 degrees from Sun. That is 28 degrees on either side of Sun, 56 degrees. So that is the amount of deviation which Mercury can have in the horoscope. If somebody gives you a horoscope where Mercury is 3 houses away from Sun, you can very clearly tell that the horoscope is fake, manipulated, or something else, or it is wrongly written. It might not be always fake, or it might not be always an adjustment horoscope. People come with asking queries that please adjust my horoscope and give so that my horoscope will get matched with somebody else's. Please be careful. This is happening around everywhere. Who is responsible? People are responsible. I will not call out any name. I don't like that. But anyway, again, Mercury is responsible for this. If Mercury becomes very strong in the chart, that's where I was. They will get into Bhadra Yoga, they will get into Trikala Jnana Yoga, they become very good mathematicians. And if Mercury is a little malefic, they become very good in calculations. So, a malefic Mercury doesn't mean that it is going to trouble everybody always. If the Lagnadipati is strong and the Mercury is little malefic, these people can find out faults. Editors, people who have to do be a critic, have to do works of, not being sarcastic, but being an editor, being a critic, or being a fault finder, or being a chartered accountant, you need to have a strong Mercury in your chart. You cannot become a chartered accountant just with a Jupiter or a Venus. You need to have a strong Mercury along with Jupiter and Venus. Then you can be a financial advisor. You can be a strong, you know, chartered accountant. So let us go ahead with the other qualities of Mercury. Mercury, when it is placed in certain houses in the chart, can give rise to mischievous, curious, unnecessary behavior for the native. So, what's wrong in being mischievous? Nothing's wrong in being mischievous. All young children have to be mischievous, only then we call them young children. Fantastic. What if the same quality doesn't die off for a 60-year-old man? Think about it. Very dangerous. So, Mercury means young, it keeps things young. You simply become old by age. That's one thing which is very dangerous. Curiosity. Curiosity without knowledge, if you start trying to do something, it's like, taking the knife and playing with it. You get cut. This can happen when a child is young, something like within 10 years, he or she will try to use the knife to cut the cake and also to cut the finger. And then they'll understand that it finger bleeds and it pains. So that is curiosity at the first level. That knife is very dangerous object. They come to know about it, going close to a fire and then coming to know about it. But what if this curiosity will never die and it will keep, scaling up? We can see people unnecessarily, getting into accidents, getting into mishaps only because of a stupid behavior which is not called for at a particular age. Riding bikes, unnecessarily going into forests where it is not allowed. People have made it a trend to simply walk into forests, off-roading. I don't know how off-roading is legal anywhere until unless there is a kacha road and people can go on it. Off-roading, you cannot do off-roading into forests. So Mercury will not understand. This buddhi will come after they get hit. They do not realize at the beginning. The next level of this stupid behavior of that is illogical behavior of Mercury, if it is malefically posited, is that they can get into addiction. They are very susceptible for addiction. You may tell that this boy was very innocent, he fell into addiction. He was innocent, right? He is innocent, but he has that stupidity to try it once and again try it once again. So then they will get locked into it. So when Mercury gets posited along with planets of chemical in nature, that is Ketu, Chandra, Saturn, if these fellows are posited in certain positions, I am not going to give you positions because you people will keep referring to charts. We will talk about them directly seeing a chart. So that in the later classes. But now, if these are the the concoction of planets very dangerously posited, may make a person get addicted. Please be clear in this. Addiction does not mean only that the person should get addicted with drugs. Addiction is also overindulgence into one particular subject. Very dangerous it is. So Mercury is like that. It is dualistic in character. If it is well posited, again they overindulge in but in good things. Like they become researchers, they become voracious readers, they cannot sleep without finishing a thing. So we, as in social perspective, we think that's good. We think this is bad. That is getting addicted into drugs, skipping classes, thieving things from the house, so only to get your monthly requirement. Very dangerous it is. We need to keep a watch on those type of natives who are susceptible, and this can be actually seen from the chart. The parts of the body Mercury represents, first is the nervous system, and that's why we keep telling. I'll just give you a simple thing to explain why it is a nerve. We tell in English that he doesn't have the nerve to do this. What's that nerve? It is like, he doesn't have the capacity, the grit, the unnecessary. Sometimes it's unnecessary, because if it is maliciously posited, I just told you, can you do it? If somebody keeps telling he can't do it, he cannot do it, he is a failure, then suddenly this fellow will jump and show that he is going to be a success. He will break his leg. So that is because he doesn't have the capability of control, and he will not tell, I'll not, man, you people are foolish, you are asking me, you are simply inciting me into doing things which are not required. He will not tell that, he will jump and show. So the nerves in the phrase that he doesn't have the nerve to do it, or he has the nerve to do it, very clearly showcases the capability of a human being to hold his fear back and then do something which actually is worthwhile. If the same planet is negatively posited, these people are extremely fearful. They are afraid of every step. Once again, I had told you about an OCD problem. Mercury people are very susceptible to obsessive compulsive disorders, like checking the door whether it is locked 10 times. The second time itself, if you push the door, you should understand it's locked. They'll go to the gate, come back to the door, again push it and see whether it is locked. This OCD is because of Mercury, which is ill-posited. And they may get neurological problems like tremors, many motor problems like being spastic. I have seen spastic children. It's such a difficult task for them. They are very normal. They can understand the whole world as normal as we normal people. We think that we are normal. Actually, they are also normal. The problem is that they do not have control over their hands and legs or whatever part of the body, because their motor dysfunction has made them incapable. But spastic children and spastic people are as normal as anybody in this world. So that we should understand. Let me at least give this message to you people, whoever are seeing this video, watching this video, that spastic people should be given full respect and empathy. Please do not give them sympathy. You don't have to be sorry for them. They don't like it because they are normal. Okay. It also shows skin, youngness. Mercury people are very young. Mercury itself it signifies youngness in the person. They feel young, they look young, though they are aged. So that is one of the good qualities of Mercury. And the negative quality of Mercury with regard to medical problems is that the same Mercury which indicates skin also indicates skin diseases like psoriasis, like eczema, acne, acne is for Mars, psoriasis, eczema, and many other skin diseases, rashes, allergies, particularly allergies, spotting on the skin. All these things will come because of Mercury. I have noticed in many charts that Moon, Ketu, Mercury act as a very strong indicator of leukoderma, which is actually the white patches which come. There are two types of leukoderma, and both come under, one is asymmetrical and one is symmetrical, and both come under these three planets in a major way. Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn also are there, who actually make it chronic, which Rahu spreads it, and Jupiter unnecessarily delays the process of cure because of many other positions. I will not go into all those details. So leukoderma is one of the things which has to be understood. So let me once again explain Buddhi Manda Roga, so that it will be clarity. There will be clarity in this. Buddhi means Budha, Manda means Saturn. Doesn't mean every slow moving planet. Manda means the one which goes slow. Buddhi means intellect. Manda means clearly only Saturn. And Roga means the sixth lord. So, or the sixth house. So if these three are associated, give rise to, it gives rise to a very strong bad yoga, which is called as the Buddhi Manda Roga. And where it is posited is very important in the chart. We cannot simply directly tell that this person is, going to go slow in his life. He will catch up only later. That we should understand from seeing the Dasha Bhuktis, transits, many other things, the Shadbala and everything else. Let me finish it with a good note. So then, what are the professions of Mercury? You name the profession, Mercury will have a role to play in it. The best professions for Mercury is marketing. They are extraordinary negotiators. They can negotiate anything. Even when they are losing, they will be talking as though they are winning. So they are very good negotiators. Wherever they are, even they can be good mediators, counselors, teachers, preachers, training people in training in HRD. They are good in all these things. They are good neurological surgeons. They are pilots and many other. So they can be architects. You name it. All that which can communicate, because Buddha means communication. Buddha means trying to communicate one from A to B, telling something. They are good in language, they are good in interpretation, they are because they are voracious readers. Their knowledge is very high because their IQ is high, because IQ is represented by Buddha in the chart. So these people can do a lot of jobs in this particular Kali Yuga. They do not want to do hard jobs like the Saturn can do, load bearing jobs. Venus can do patiently doing a carving or a painting. Buddha does not want to do that. Buddha is like, finish it as fast as possible. And when it is associated with a slow moving planet, they can become very good chess players, as I told you. They can solve puzzles, they can become extraordinary mathematicians, very good mathematicians, when it is associated with a slow moving benefic planet like Jupiter. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope I have covered the best of Mercury. Thank you.